Good morning, everybody. It's me, Guy. So today's the release of Fort Forinthry. I'm gonna go ahead and start the mini quest in order to access the fort itself. I believe you just start new foundations here. All right. So with the fort being established, the sawmill is gone. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of people over here already getting started. Um, we're just gonna go ahead and get started with our quest here, which should be this marker. Cleared out some zombies. Got to go talk to Bill. So the enemies are cleared out, and now we have to start construction on the actual fort. So when you come here, you're going to see blueprints table, workbench, which is the sawmill to be able to process planks, and then the stone cutter, in which you'll need to use limestone bricks in order to get the crafting materials needed for this. First thing to do is to check the blueprint table, and we have to build a workshop. You'll notice with the fort, there are new construction items that were introduced with this, that being wooden frames and stone wall segments. Now I have my plank box. You'll notice there are two sides to the workbench here. You can process planks and then you can construct frames. Now we need the frames, but you need to make something called refined planks. One refined plank is 4 regular planks. Once you have your refined planks, you can construct frames, and one frame is 3 refined planks. Obviously, there are frames of different tiers, so if you're using mahogany planks, you're going to be making mahogany frames, oak planks, oak frames, so on and so forth. One of the other things that you're going to need is to use a stone cutter here on limestone bricks, and this allows you to make stone wall segments. One segment is 4 bricks. And please don't buy limestone bricks off the Grand Exchange. They're very expensive, especially around the release. You can go to construction shops in order to buy them. There's a shop in Morton that has a stock of, I believe, 1,000, and you can use magic note paper to, note them quickly. And then also in Prifddinas, in the Ithel section, there's the sawmill over here. The sawmill operator sells limestone bricks. There are other stores as well, but those are the two that I've used. Once you have the frames and the wall segments that you need, you can go to the blueprint table and you can construct the hotspot that you're trying to work on. As you're working on this, kind of like archaeology with the additional excavation rate, you'll see that there is one hotspot that is sparkling. If you're working on the constructed hotspot, you'll see that you get a buff, perfect build. If you keep perfect build at 100%, you're gaining an additional 20% experience from the build that you are working on. So if you're actively training, it's worth doing it because, more XP per plank, basically. Or if you want to chill, you can just sit at one hotspot and build away at that for the entire duration. All right, and there's an achievement for achieving a 100% build score as well. So if you follow the spots, you will get rewarded with an achievement for that. But that was the last hotspot for me, so this is the tier 1 workshop. Now, I believe we still have to build the walls of this. You can see people, along the edges there just hammering at the air. But let's talk to Bill, see what we got to do next. Oh, actually, I lied. Not yet. We got to go over to Varrock, the Blue Moon Inn. And we have to recruit somebody to help us. All right, gotta go look for a Fremnig woman named Civ. Now you talk to Father Flint in the Draenor Village Marketplace. Father's on board. It's time to get back to the fort. So we're back. We talked to Bill. And now we can start building each of the walls with the blueprints here. So basically each of the wall segments requires a certain amount of planks and then a certain amount of stone wall segments. The stone wall segments is what you need the limestone bricks for, which, by the way, I was talking about those shops. Bill also sells some limestone bricks. In order to do this entire first part of the quest here, you need right around 300 limestone bricks in order to convert into the wall segments with the stone cutter. About an hour later, and here is the finished fort. So all of the walls are built, and we can go talk to Bill. The gang's all here. And there we go, new foundations complete. Now, upon completion of new foundations, we can come over to the blueprint table, and here we can see all of the different blueprints of the buildings that we can make. Now, from the looks of it, it looks like you will be using each type of frame. So depending on the building that you're making, you have tier 1s to 3, and each of them require different frames, as we can see right here. Workshop tier 2 requires teak frames, as well as the stone wall segments that you make from the limestone bricks. Now, in case I have to run to the GE and get anything to get back here quickly, I'm going to make the lodestone, which is right outside the front gates of the fort. In order to get it, normally you're looking at buildings on the blueprint table. Just hit miscellaneous. It is 10 limestone bricks, not the processed bricks, which is the wall segments, just regular old bricks. And again, you can just buy them from Bill here. He has 250 max in the shop. There we go. Lodestone complete. So I can get back here quickly now if I need to. So I went ahead and made all of the frames that I need for all of the buildings tier 1 to 3. So in my inventory here, you can see this is the amount that you need. So wooden frames, oak frames, teak frames, mahogany frames, and the stone wall segments. So on screen, I'll have listed the total amount of planks that you actually need for each building. This is after the quest. So this is assuming you already have workshop tier 1 built. Assuming that, you need 10 wooden frames, that is 30 refined planks, which is 120 normal planks. You're also going to need 24 oak frames. This is 72 refined planks total, which equates to 288 regular oak planks. Going into the tier 2s, you're going to need 60 teak frames. This is 180 refined teak planks, which equals 720 regular teak planks. And then lastly, for tier 3s, you're going to need 66 mahogany frames. This is 198 refined mahogany planks, which equals 792 regular mahogany planks. In total, you're going to need 66 stone wall segments. This equals 264 limestone bricks, 274 total if you're including the 10 bricks that you need to build a lodestone. Now, as far as buildings go, there are 4 different buildings in the launch version of the fort. The one that we're standing in now is the first one that you build, and this is the workshop. If you're doing this for XP, the workshop is probably the one that you want to build first, and the main reason being is because the workshop gives you a flat percentage buff to the hotspot construction XP that you get in the fort. It starts at 5% with tier 1, and it goes up to 15% at tier 3. You also have access to all of these different workbenches as well as a bank. And once you tier up the buildings, the invention workbench is the one that changes the most, that being tier 2, which allows you to have access to your invention machines. And then tier 3 allows you to increase your invention machine power by 25%. Now, the next building here right out front is the town hall. The town hall basically allows you to passively get experience both while logged in at the fort and while you're logged off anywhere in the world. The XP is based off of the amount of bonus XP you would get from a small prismatic star. So basically, as you tier up the town hall, you get an increase from the amount of XP generated while skilling at the fort from 1 to 3%. It is only 1% when logged out across all tiers. And the amount of XP that you can store varies per tiers as well. It has the equivalent of 5 prismatic stars capped at tier 1, and at tier 3 you get the equivalent of 15 stars. You also get access to a bank chest right here, and you get access to a banker named Copperpot that is now in the center of the fort. Now, this building here just north of the entrance is the command center. The command center is basically your daily scape hub. Here you have access to player-owned ports, archaeology research, managing miscellanea, and the Anachronia base camp. Making your way through the tiers, you can net yourself a reputation boost in miscellanea, up to 10% success chance at ports, up to 10 total Anachronia bonus workers, and a negative 3% cost and plus 3% speed to your research for archaeology. The last building here is on the eastern side of the fort, and this is the chapel. Now, in the chapel, you have an altar, as you would expect, and you also have 2 burners. The way that this differs from the gilded altar in your player-owned house is the fact that you don't have to have these burners lit to get the XP bonus. Now, the herb burners in the chapel still have a function, though. What the burners do is they give you a chance to save bones when you are offering them to the altar. At tier 3, each herb will give you 21 seconds, and that bonus is shared on the world. So if there are a lot of people and people are just chucking herbs in there, that's shared among everybody. At tier 3 as well, you get a 350% increase to the amount of experience that you're gaining. That's not any more than, say, the Powder of Burials. It is equal to that, but it's more AFK in that you could just offer it up and it gradually will take bones out of your inventory. At tier 3, you're also able to prayer book swap. Keep in mind, if you're thinking of doing this for prayer training over the Powder of Burials because you don't want to constantly bury bones with either hotkeys or clicking, and you don't want to run to your player-owned house in order to do it, the Tier 3 chapel does require level 95 construction, so it is a pretty steep requirement in order to do prayer training here, to get the maximum XP, that is. At Tier 1, you're getting 250% XP. It is still more AFK than, say, the Powder of Burials, where you have to constantly bury bones, so you can weigh your options on that. And I did quickly want to mention too, your command center here, which has all your daily scape stuff, does require level 99 construction in order to get tier 3. So it's very much meant for those people who are maxed and want to get a little bit of a speed boost on some of those, you know, post-max or endgame requirements. And that's the new Fort Forinthry construction update. For those of you who are wanting to comp, as in getting all tier 3 buildings, that's going to take around 3 to 4 hours, including the quest to get it started. If you liked, please consider leaving a like. It helps out with the algorithm and helps the video get recommended to other people. And if this isn't the first video that you've seen from me, consider subscribing to see what I post in the future. Thanks for sticking around, and I will see you in the next video. Later.